day, ladies and gentlemen. Little Miss Ivy has gone ahead of us to survey our next destination. But when she left, she grabbed me by my shoulders and said, "This here is real. You tell them for me. Down here, there's no room for softness, no place for weakness. Only the strong and the hard should go any further. Only the strong strive, only the hard." And I said, "So I should just stay here, right?" She said no, so here we be. Allow me to ask the strong and the hard a question. Am I the only person who finds it strange how a particular nation, in this case the Syrians, could be at war in several different places and doing several different things all at the same time in the scriptures? Well, I can now say with certain, they didn't have Humvees and Hercules helicopters carrying them back and forth. Nope. It's because the scriptures were talking about several different nations going under one particular name, the Syrians. Let me give you a sliver of wisdom given unto me. When you are reading an event and it gives you a name or description with it, stop and research the context my God is trying to give you. For once you do, bingo! Case in point. Remember when I told you there were two different and distinct Syrians in the scriptures? Well, I gotta be a man about it. I was wrong, and I'm sorry for misleading you astray. Please don't hold it against me. Hopefully my God is not through with me yet. For if I was in my right mind, mind you, I would have told you there are at least 5 different and distinct Syrians in the scriptures. I say at least 5 because, as you will soon see, there are 5 of them talked about in just one story. Allow me to ask the strong and the hard yet another question. When you read 1 Chronicles chapter 19 in the Septuagint, what do you perceive? Who, me? I perceive everything I've tried to explain thus far. You know, a humanity takeover consists of a diverse group of nations going under a genetically elite main banner. In this case, at least 5 different nations of people going under the banner and under the control of one elite nation of Syrians. If I'm correct in this video, it would also cement our earlier understanding in our Huns, Tiglath-Pileser, and Kasserch videos, where the elite chose a leader nation from their class to run faraway nations. This fact will be made quite clear in the very last passage. So, since we are not Christians, starting in the middle of the story, let's get some context to go with my evidence, shall we? Perceptual context. King David wanted to show kindness to the new Ammonite king who just lost his dad and sent some ambassadors to give his condolences. One of the Ammonite king's advisors spewed venomous hate into the king's ear, twisting King David's ambassadors' gestures of condolence into black ops spy missions. The king, not being very old or experienced, let the venom sink in and clowned the Israelite ambassadors something ugly. They tore the ambassadors' clothes, shaved their heads, shaved their beards, and probably gave them atomic wedgies and all, and kicked them out of the city. I can just hear King David when he heard this insolence. They did what? Oh, Hades no. And probably, and apparently, the Ammonite king heard the exact same thing because of what he did next. Let's pick it up there, shall we? Verse 6, quote, "And the children of Ammon saw that the people of David were ashamed, and Anan and the children of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire for themselves chariots and horsemen out of Syria of Mesopotamia, and out of Syria Macha, and from Sabol. And they hired for themselves 230,000 chariots, and the king of Makkah and his people. And they came and encamped before Medeba, and the children of Ammon assembled out of their cities and came to fight. Stop. Bingo. Did you catch it? Catch what, you ponder? Did you catch there are three different Syrian nations talked about already? Let's break them down, shall we? According to Wikipedia, under Puquudu, quote, the term Puquudu, or in the Bible, Pekod, refers to a prominent Armenian tribe and is associated region in southern or eastern Babylonia. They lived along the eastern edge of Elam. Google told me Turkey, Syria, is 788 miles from Mesopotamia. That can only mean this is talking about a smaller, separate, shadowing group of Syrians with a kingdom in Mesopotamia. Let's go to the next. Quote, and Anan and the children of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire for themselves chariots and horsemen out of Syria of Mesopotamia, comma, and out of Syria, Makkah. Stop. According to the Bible study tools, according to Bible study tools, that's it, under Makkah, Maacah, quote, a small kingdom in close proximity to Palestine, which appears to have lain outside Argob and Bashan, which can only mean bingo. Let's continue exposing, shall we? Quote, and Anan and the children of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire for themselves chariots and horsemen out of Syria of Mesopotamia, comma, and out of Syria, Makkah, comma, and from Sabal, period. Stop. Sabal is listed among those of Esau's clan, but we will dig deeper into that later. But for now, check this out. According to the Bible study tools under Zoba, quote, and that's Zoba, quote, the name of a portion of Syria which formed a separate kingdom in the time of the Jewish monarchs Saul, David, and Solomon. We first hear of Zoba in the time of Saul, when we find it mentioned as a separate country governed apparently by a number of kings who owned no common head or chief. Some 40 years later than this, we find Zoba under a single ruler, Hadaezer, son of Rehob, and that's Hadadezer, son of Rehob. We'll get to them a little later. He had wars with Toi, king of Hamath, and held, listen to this, and held various petty Syrian princes as vassals under his yoke. And that's 2 Samuel 10 and 19. David attacked Hadaezer in the early part of his reign, defeating his army, and took from him 1,000 chariots, 700 horsemen, and 20,000 footmen. Hadaezer's allies, the Syrians of Damascus, were defeated in a great battle. Stop. Hopefully you can see many things now, but I want for you to only pay attention to the fact even Mr. Charlie acknowledges there are different groups of people in different parts of the world going under the banner of Syrians. You know, the people my God said he brought from out of the deep. Oh yeah. Also keep in mind Hadaezer and his influence on the other Syrians across the known world. It will be important information to have a little later. Let's continue with the scripture, shall we? Verse 8, quote, and David heard and sent Joab and all the host of mighty men. Stop. Real quick. Notice, with all of this going on, don't you find it interesting? King David only sent out his mighty men? Yeah, I know those are the odds of real Israelite likes, but he called them out because they were expert giant killers. Yep, this is real. They were called mighty men because they had expertise in killing mighty men. Don't get it twisted. King David might have had an olive oil voice and Israelite charm, I mean, what chick can resist it? But he was grizzled, strong, and hard. And with the exception of the Ammonites being fully engulfed, everyone else had giants among them. Let's continue with the scripture story, please. Quote, and the children of Ammon came forth and set themselves in array for battle by the gate of the city. And the kings, with an S, that were come forth encamped by themselves in the plain. I'm going to say that again. And the children of Ammon came forth and set themselves in array for battle by the gate of the city. And the kings, with an S, that were come forth encamped by themselves in the plain. So Ammon was in battle array in front of the cities, and the kings of the Syrians were in the plains. Let's continue. And Joab saw that they were fronting him to fight against him before and behind. And he chose some out of all the young men of Israel, and they set themselves in array against the Syrians. And the rest of the people he gave into the hand of his brother. I can't say it. Abesai. And they set themselves in array against the children of Ammon. And he said, personal quote, if the Syrians should prevail against me, then shalt thou deliver me. And if the children of Ammon shall prevail against thee, then I will deliver thee. Be of good courage, and let us be strong for our people, and for the cities of our God. And the Lord shall do what is good in his eyes. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a speech of lions. So Joab and the people that were with him set themselves in battle array against the Syrians. And they fled from them. And the children of Ammon saw that the Syrians fled, and they also fled from before Abazai, and from before Joab his brother. And they came to the city, and Joab came to Jerusalem. And the Syrian, Hadazezer, saw that Israel had defeated him, and he sent messengers, and they brought out, listen to this, the Syrians from beyond the river. And Sosoph, the commander-in-chief of the forces of Azazel, was before them. Stop. Bingo. Oh God, man, I hope y'all reading with me. I can't read. I hope y'all reading with me. Yet another nation of Syrians that are beyond the river. Don't worry. We're going to look at this in 2 Kings also. It gives us the who's in the scene. Man, it really gives us great detail, people. Great detail. But let's continue, please. Now King David is mad and assembles all of Israel in battle array against the multinational force of the Syrians. Verse 17. Quote, and it was told David, and he gathered all Israel and crossed over Jordan and came upon them and set the battle in array against them. Go, King David. Go, King David. So David set his army in array to fight against the Syrians, and they fought against him. And the Syrians fled from before Israel, and David slew of the Syrians 7,000 riders and chariots, and 40,000 infantry. And he slew Saphoth, which is an Edomite, the commander-in-chief of the forces. Listen to this. Listen to this. And the servants of Azazel saw that they were defeated before Israel, and they made peace with David and served him. And the Syrians would not anymore help the children of Ammon. Example. So as you can plainly see, there are more than a couple of different kingdoms going under the Syrian name. But I know, I didn't prove everything I said in the beginning. For that was only the tricky part.